Greg, I'm curious to hear maybe a story of where you learned something very, profound from Warren. I'm sure you've learned many things, but if there's a story that kind of comes up in your mind, we'd love to hear it. And vice versa, if we have the time, Warren, what's something that you maybe learned from Greg? Thank you.
Yeah, I will turn this over to Greg in just 1 second, but now the main thing I'd like to be known for is old age.
Well, Warren is obviously a remarkable teacher, and I benefit from that every day. And as I've already touched on, for many years, I'm fortunate that if I had to be remembered as something right now, obviously I'd want to be remembered as a great father, but equally a coach. And that goes to family, friends, and just being involved with the kids I coach in hockey or baseball or whatever it may be. I think we've got a great opportunity to give back to them at a very young age. So obviously those would be how I'd want to be remembered, and hopefully that'll be many, many years from now. But I love thinking of Warren truly as a teacher, and he's in every day get the opportunity to continue to learn. Warren and I, his dialogue is strong every week, and we're always talking around opportunities in Berkshire or things that are going on globally or in the U.S., and each one's truly a learning moment. I'll maybe go back to the very first meeting with Warren, and because it still stands out in my mind. Obviously, it was an incredible opportunity. Warren was buying or acquiring Mid-American Energy Holdings Company at that time, or thinking about it, and I had the opportunity with my partners to go over there on a Saturday morning, and we're discussing the business, and Warren had the financial statements in front of him. And like anybody, I was sort of expecting a few questions on how the business was performing or a variety of things, but Warren locked in immediately to what was on the balance sheet and the fact we had some derivative contracts, the weapons of mass destruction. And associated with the utility business, we do have them because they use them to match certain positions, and they're never matched perfectly, but you do have them, and we're required in the regulated business. But I just remember Warren going to it immediately and asking the composition of it and what was the underlying risk in it, and wanting to thoroughly understand it. It wasn't that big of a position, but it was absolutely one of the risks he was concerned about as he was acquiring Mid-American. And obviously in light of Enron and everything that had gone on, it was a very pertinent question. And then the follow-up to that was, then there's an energy crisis in the U.S. Around electricity and natural gas, and a variety of folks were making significant sums of money. This is a year, 18 months later. And Warren's follow-up question a couple of years later to me was, and I knew it was more just checking or testing, so how much money are we making during this energy crisis? Are we making a lot? Are the speculative positions in place, and are we making it? And the answer was, we're really not making any more today than we would have been 6 months ago, because all those derivatives were truly to support our business and weren't speculative. So just that focus on understanding the business of what he was acquiring, understanding the risks around it, still stand out in my mind. Warren?
Yeah, it's that's one thing we've really never talked about here, but I spend more time looking at balance sheets than I do income statements. And Wall Street really doesn't pay much attention to balance sheets, but I like to look at balance sheets over an 8 or 10 year period before I even look at the income account. because there's certain things that's harder to hide or play games with on the balance sheet than you can with the income statement. And yeah, I mean, neither one gives you the total answer on anything, but you still ought to understand what the figures are saying and what they don't say and what they can't say and what the management will like them to say that the auditors wouldn't like them to say. And I mean, there's just a lot to be learned, and you do learn more. You learn more from balance sheets, in my view, than most people give them credit for. In terms of, I really haven't. I'm not worried about being remembered about that. People don't remember. Well, they don't remember enough about Katharine Graham, for example, in terms of this story that shaped America in many ways. Certainly, it had just all kinds of impact. And I think, I mean, history is so fascinating. And Charlie was probably the best person you could imagine in what he learned. Charlie was never satisfied with just superficial things about any subject. He really wanted to understand it. And he always would tell me that, don't take a position on anything until you can describe the arguments against it better than the person who is arguing with you, that you should be able to argue their case better than they can.
What I absolutely love about Warren Buffett's content is that he gives a take that was relevant 100 years ago, it's relevant right now, and it's going to be relevant 100 years from now as well. And that is exactly why you should subscribe to this channel, is because we provide so much amazing content just like this, talking about the stock market, finance, and all of that. And we try to make every single video that will be relevant 100 years from now as it is relevant right now today. Thanks so much once again for checking out this video of income views. Remember to subscribe. If you can't subscribe, I cannot continue making videos just like this one for you. Also remember to click the like button and also comment as to what you think of this video and what else you would like to see in terms of personal finance, Warren Buffett content, and so much more, because we cover it all on this channel. Thank you so much for watching, everybody, and I will see you in the next video.